Welcome back, everybody, to the continuation of the BTS series, Southeast Asia. We're here with our second round of 16 match. We've seen Fnatic get a 2-0 victory to get through the quarterfinals. Up next, it's the Singapore Rejects taking on Team TnC. The Singapore Rejects, formerly known kind of as Insidious Idol, now under a new tag and a slightly different roster. They're taking on a Filipino squad in TnC. We'll see how things unravel here in our second match for today. I'm GoDz. Joining me is WinteR. How you feeling, WinteR? WinteR, are you there? I don't hear you, buddy. I've got no
Whoops,
WinteR.
I got muted. Sorry.
I was about to say, we're just going to hop into the draft here. WinteR's abandoned me, but it turns out you haven't abandoned me.
I was gonna tell you that I haven't watched them play for a long time. Singapore Rejects.
But some players you're kind of familiar with, like Ysira and some of the others, so we'll see how they're looking right now, though. I feel like they come in slightly as underdogs. TnC have been pretty good lately and have been a bit more stable with their roster, at least.
No, they actually made two roster swaps, I think. They played with the old roster at Indonesia LAN event. I'm not sure if you know about it. There was a LAN event at Indonesia recently. TnC was third place. And
Okay.
they played that LAN event with their old roster, and I think this is their new roster. They changed two players.
So just
Raven,
before the majors, they want to get some last-minute changes in and hope for some improvements, maybe.
no, I think they already made the changes before that, but they just decided to go to the LAN event with the old roster because the old roster was the original 5 that qualified for the LAN event.
Okay. Well, these teams actually met about a week ago. So they played in the Corsair Gaming Arena tournament where the Singapore Rejects actually were victorious. It was just the best of one, but something to kind of take note of coming into this game. Although I'd say TnC had a kind of unconventional draft, picking up a Drow as well as a Clinks in the same team. So we'll see something a bit more standard here with a Leshrac Bounty Hunter opening. And that seems a bit crazy. Well, that's the SG Rejects. For TnC, giving away these two heroes seems a bit almost insane.
Yeah, they are one of the few teams in SEA that like to pick Drow a lot. Even though they don't pick the Visage, they just like to pick Drow as a hero with orange and just try to get lane advantage and lane dominance with the aura alone. Huh. This is a good pick against Bounty. I actually like this pick against Bounty the most.
Yeah, it seems one of the more suited heroes for dealing with the pesky Bounty. If you ever get it's kind of like you can track him while he's invis without even having to use dust to some extent, just being able to follow his movements once he has been charged. So nice little pick. Could be an offlaner, could even be a kind of support role, Spirit Breaker.
Probably offlane, I think, because you have Earthshaker. You don't want to have double melee support unless you don't really have much choice. But it's still early in the draft, so I think probably the early ideas would be just to run the Spirit Breaker on the offlane, Earthshaker as their support. And Spirit Breaker is definitely one of the offlaners that requires the Earthshaker to actually fissure block the first wave of creeps so he can actually get experience.
Well, we'll see what the two teams look to do from here. We see some kind of targeted bans from TnC, the Tinker especially. Not something really relevant in the current meta, but something very kind of geared towards the Singaporean squad and something that they're kind of known for doing. So SC Rejects get a Shadow Demon, which is a good setup for the Leshrac stun early on if you want to roam with the Shadow Demon, although it seems nowadays Leshracs don't even really need that much setup when it comes to landing a Split Earth, but sometimes it's better to be on the safe side anyways, and it does kind of reveal the support duo for the SG Rejects. The Bounty and Shadow Demon will be their two supports, and more often than not, you do see teams kind of waiting to pick up their core heroes.
It's very odd to pick Shadow Demon here though. Like you mentioned, Leshrac doesn't need a setup, and there are many supports that are much better than Shadow Demon if you are talking about just for the lanes, and SD is like very specifically good against certain heroes, only like maybe anti-mage or any illusion based hero. And it sort of feels like maybe they are trying to switch things up with a Bounty Hunter core, and maybe Shadow Demon plus Leshrac will be the support. Or something might be off here because normally you wouldn't do this.
Okay, well, we'll have to see if they are going to go a bit funky with the Bounty Hunter and the Shadow Demon. But yeah, Phoenix. So TnC, very teamfight focused. When you look at Earthshaker, Queen of Pain, Phoenix, fighting around the Supernova going to be a key point for this team. And Fissure, a good spell to have to kind of keep that Supernova alive as well. So it does feel like they've got really good control, not to mention the Charge of Darkness, which gives them another AoE stun to help keep that Phoenix egg alive in a teamfight scenario.
They don't have good heroes to kill the egg though. Right now, the 3 heroes. I mean, Leshrac is decent. depending. Sometimes when you play Leshrac and you're against Phoenix, you might want to consider getting Treads just so you can deal with the egg. Because sometimes players just go for early bots, but I think Treads could be optional if you play a core Leshrac mid or safe lane. You can get Treads early.
Oh, well, you kind of mentioned
Unstrike.
they may do Leshrac support. They pick up an Invoker, and that kind of suggests they may be doing something of the sort.
Yeah, it's probably exalt more or less, I think, because if you wanna start off with a gank with Disrupt and Leshrac, probably to follow things up with a stun, then you have Invoker to finish the kill. And this more or less might actually mean that the bounty, if they were to go to the support Leshrac, bounty would be off laner and they would need another safe lane hero.
Is this going to be Chains playing the Invoker? Does he play the hero? Because I can't really recall him playing it that much.
I think Voicera likes to play
Yeah.
Invoker a lot, but he's like the offlane. If I'm not mistaken, he's the offlane player.
That's right.
The second player, Sky Ferreira, that's Iwawa. I don't know if you know his old name. That's the mid player.
Yeah.
And Chains is the carry player. So I think if you go by the roles, if Invoker goes mid, it'll be Sky Ferreira. Man, I hate his new name. Iwa, I'll just call him Iwa. Iwa will be playing the Invoker if it's mid.
Yeah.
But Chains definitely likes to play the hero. He likes to play Invoker like Tinker and Illusion stuff, Naga Siren, Terrorblade.
All right. Well, we'll see what the plan's going to be for the team as the draft
They banned
continues.
Weaver. Huh, that's really weird.
It is. That's not something you'd expect to see taken
Maybe
out.
it's like they scream them a lot and they like to pick Weaver. Maybe, we would never know.
Yeah. And is F X Freedom? Is he drafting
Yeah,
for
the
SG
drafter is the
Redux?
X Freedom.
Okay.
Drafter is Kelvin.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure. So that is the former Zenith player X Freedom, for those of you wondering, who is captaining this team. So PL is going to be the carrier choice for TnC, so that rounds off their draft. And you kind of talked about
Very solid.
this means Phoenix likely to be a support. It's solid. The PL pick's solid, but it doesn't feel like they have like a good laning support so much here.
Yeah, maybe they don't have a good laning support, but if you look at the overall composition, it's actually really strong together. The other four heroes will be able to buy a lot of space and time for PL to get farm, since they are very well equipped to fight on their own. The four heroes, they don't really need the Phantom Lancer to actually come help them too much, and it will depend what the Singapore rejects actually pick to finish their lineup. It's very crucial here because the heroes they have don't really deal with the Phantom Lancer Doppelganger very well. And okay, so it'll be Shadow Demon plus Lash support as we predicted, and Bounty Hunter will be the off lane. So Invoker is played by Ewa, so it's gonna be mid, and Luna will be on the safe lane. So it's a very, remember the LGD international days where they would actually pick Shadow Demon, Lash, and Luna a lot.
Oh yeah,
Two
and
roaming supports with safe lane Luna, and Luna will just TP to join the team fighting when he has ultimate.
yeah, very aggressive, looking to fight early, and bounty. They'll get the much faster level 6 on Bounty Hunter for track than you'd normally see if it is the offlane Bounty Hunter, which with Ysira not picking up his hero yet, it does look like. So something that could cause TnC some problems if they have a bad start, because SG Rejects is looking to snowball with their early game rotations coming out from the Shadow Demon Leshrac.
They have to win the lanes though, because their heroes are not well equipped to deal with Phantom Lancer. If Phantom Lancer gets big, it's hard for them to actually lock him. They don't have very good lockdown to actually kill him, and I think it's gonna be an Exalt Invoker, so there won't be any Tornado EMPs to actually burn his mana. So they would have to actually wait for the Hex coming from the Invoker sometime in the mid to late game to actually deal with the PL. Otherwise, they don't have good tools against PL. Spirit Earth is just definitely not reliable against that.
All right, well, things will unravel here. We'll introduce our two teams. On the Radiant side, TnC going to have Raven playing the Phantom Lancer. It's AU playing the support, or off. It looks like an offlane Phoenix based on his items here. Potentially.
They actually shared the stuff because Spirit Breaker has two tangles and
maybe
stuff. So Spirit Breaker bought something maybe.
Yeah, potential dual lane
No,
coming out.
actually Phoenix bought the ward. He has less gold.
Okay. So it looks
So
like a
Phoenix, that's
4-position Phoenix for AU. We've got S playing the Spirit Breaker. Will be Noji playing the Earthshaker, and that does leave X-Lucky playing the Queen of Pain, although it looks like Queen of Pain may be headed down towards the safe lane to take on the Ysira Bounty Hunter. SG Rejects going to have him in the off lane. Sky Ferreira going to be playing the mid Invoker, leaving F or X Freedom playing the support Leshrac, paired up with El Smurf on the Shadow Demon, and finally, Chain's going to be playing the safe lane farming Luna. Here we go.
Fissure.
Level 1 engagement. Fissure, so scary in these fights. They've also got Charge. Fissure catches 2, blocks him kind of away from this fight. Charge comes flying in as well. Bounty Rune picked up by the Dire, and Raven's going to be careful. He's low on HP. Does have Doppelganger. It's going to be the Leshrac getting low here. One more Fire Spirit comes out. They can't really attack too fast. Another Fissure in 1 second. He's got it. He's going to wind up. Doesn't actually hit it, though. Oh, no. That would have been first blood on the Leshrac, unfortunately. Off the mark, and SG Rejects get out.
That was very crucial miss there, and adding salt to injury, Singapore Rejects actually got both the bounty runes.
Yep, one to the Bounty, one to the Invoker. So that gives Bounty a slightly better time in what would be, in any situation, a bad 1v1 matchup. But this will at least give him a little boost.
The lanes are interesting though. They have Phantom Lancer mid. Spirit Breaker Phoenix often is kind of expected, but the safe lane will be the Queen of Pain.
Yep,
top lane, they're going to go in. Doesn't have a dive.
Not the Bounty, the Shadow Demon taking a fair bit of damage. They do change target now. The Split Earth comes out, catches out AU, and he does not have dive because he went for the level 1 Fire Spirits and pays for it with his life. They won't get the counter kill on Leshrac, and that's a victory for SG Rejects with the 3v2 advantage. They managed to narrowly keep their supports alive and could be looking for more soon, although Spirit Breaker very, very tanky.
I'm trying to understand why they're actually putting their lanes like this. I feel that maybe they were worried about like some pressure lane like Luna, Shadow Demon, Lash coming to the PL, so they wanted PL to have a good or decent laning phase. Like PL versus Invoker, I think they feel would be better than PL versus the Tri lane.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's worked against them in the sense that it hasn't been an offensive challenge from SG Rejects, so Queen of Pain's having a great time against the Bounty Hunter, but Bounty still gets experience, so it's not like Bounty Hunter, yeah, he's not going to get farm in this lane, but still an alright trade for them. As top lane, bit more of a clash comes out. Chains looking for the kill on the Spirit Breaker, but salve up and won't find it.
And they need the level 2 on the Phoenix so desperately. The Fissure costing them not to get the first blood earlier was just a huge in the lane. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gotten the first blood there on the Phoenix.
Well, he's trying to find himself a rune, maybe a Bounty Rune to get him to that level 2, but Leshrac's there to deny it, and AU will waddle his way back towards that top lane, but things not looking so good for the Phoenix yet.
Looking at the other lanes though, PL is, he seems like he's doing okay though against the Invoker. Even on CS, he's actually 2 behind, but it's fine for the PL. And I think he's gonna get a bottle after this, so to help him in the lane. And Bounty's currently moving out of the lane and trying to secure. I'm not sure if he can kill the PL here with the Invoker. It's actually gonna be a quad strike Invoker.
He's going for the courier potential. He knows it's coming out soon because PL does not have his bottle yet. But
it's 3 minutes though.
He was hoping it would come out just before 3 minutes, I guess, and be able to snipe it. But that is not the case for the Bounty. Does have the 1 point United, so it takes 2 or 3 right clicks at this stage.
Two clicks.
Okay.
The Dinanda wouldn't kill the courier, then he needs, if it's a flying courier, he needs 2. But if it's a ground courier, yes, he would actually kill in 1 hit.
Well, it's going to come out. It's not going to come out just yet. The Earthshaker is going to do the hand deliver.
They have the ward here though, like from TnC. So they know that the bounty is not nearby, and where else could the bounty be?
Yeah, they even see him now. It's a sentry with the observer.
You would know about all these courier sniping shenanigans.
I have not seen a bounty courier snipe in a long time because everybody just, even in pub games, you never see it anymore. Everybody just counters it. It's become such a trend that everyone's ruined my fun in pub games, WinteR. How do I courier snipe now? I gotta get more creative.
You have to do something spectacular like Bone 7 FPS.
About to say, Bone 7 has to give me some inspiration for new ideas, perhaps. Nice rune deny. Raven wanted that regen rune, but it's denied by the Leshrac from the north. And see how first balls come out as TnC have given up the first blood and have a slight disadvantage in the laning stage, it feels
Lanes is actually going much better than I expected. Look at Luna CS. Luna has like almost even with the PL CS, which is like PL is mid. And the safe lane Queen of Pain has 27 CS. So lane's actually going much better than I expected from TnC. They're disrupting the Luna's farm. And Bounty Hunter so far, I'm not sure about leaving the lane. I felt that he could have actually, because if you look at the heroes, he knew that the Earthshaker was middle just now. He saw the Earthshaker, so he could actually just go back to the lane. It's more or less safe to get experience in the lane against Queen of Pain alone. I think at certain points you have to consider whether trying to kill a career which is not certain or staying in the lane getting experience is which is actually more worth to your team.
Oh, he needs to be careful here. Queen of Pain has a blink with Dust as well. Queen of Pain may go for this kill. One blink screaming.
He needs to wait for his bottle. Bounty has a bottle at the base. Wow, he actually would have died if the queen stayed there.
If Queen stayed, up near the tower, it could have just
so
gone
greedy,
for a
man. The bounty was so greedy there, and I wouldn't have actually tried to take the last hit because if the queen was staying there, he would have died there, being so greedy.
He had no vision too. It was just Queen of Pain and just backed off to go. To
yeah, he was just taking a chance. And top lane disruption to start, split up to follow with the soul catcher, and Luna's gonna come in for a Lucent Beam.
Spirit Breaker still very tanky, has a lot of sit charges, need another Lucent Beam to Shadow Poison, Soul Catcher to dive back from the Phoenix, and he gets out as well, so they both survive. Just barely.
I thought the Shadow Demon would have actually tried to... I guess the slow from the Phoenix actually allowed the Spirit Breaker to actually get out of range of the Shadow Poison. But it was really close, and I think if it was another offlane hero, that was a dead hero.
Yeah.
Spirit Breaker is just one of the tankiest.
That's what he's built for, so that's at least good for TnC. They're not giving up more kills than they need to. But still.
It would have been a kill if it's Exalt Invoker. I'm really surprised that it's actually a Quas Wax Invoker. Even though I mentioned that if they go Exalt, they wouldn't have any suffice lockdown for the PL. But even if it's a Quas Wax Invoker, unless you get the mana burn off the PL, which would be great if you actually get it off, but it's not easy to get a mana burn. The EMP off the PL.
I personally kind of prefer the Quas Wax because otherwise they have like no teamfight control. Like look at their teamfight is absolutely awful without it because the Leshrax is support here.
I actually disagree though. I think if you go, I mean, it's both pros and cons. So if you go Exalt Invoker with the Luna, you can rush very easily, and you always you can go like Necro Book plus Luna. Like you have a timing to hit, so you can actually push and take objectives. So I think both has its merits of the builds, and it's just what you have in mind of how you want to play your lineup though.
6-minute runes coming up, and it looks like PL.
He sneaked 2 of the runes, like the first minute bounty rune, and he sneaked the double damage rune as well. Really good play from the bounty hunter, all in all. And you mentioned the Queen of Pain has Dust though, and he has Sonic Wave, so they could. I think he's dead though. Earthshaker's here.
They have a Sentry Ward too. If he's nearby,
he should be dead. What? I thought they saw him. Maybe they didn't.
I think he was. There was a Sentry Ward.
They could have killed him.
Now they've got him. Now,
Fissure?
No, he's dusted. Okay. There's the Fissure on the wrong side. He's going to be forced to Sonic Wave, so...
Wow, that was so cocky from the Bounty Hunter. He saw the... Like, why would you try to right-click the Earthshaker even that once, if you see...
Queen of Pain with... Like, he surely knew Queen of Pain had Dust. Queen of Pain had Dust for a long, long time, but...
That was just risky, though, because Queen of Pain was level 6, and you know, Fan plus Sonic Wave, Fissure, you're just dead. He probably was just too greedy. I'm not sure why.
He really wanted his level 6 from the lane, but he doesn't need to do that by...
Yeah, he just could have just hide in the lane and just wait for it. Like, he could have had track for this. It's a shame. If they get this kill and he didn't have track.
Yeah, he won't have track for this unless they get another CS or 2, but it doesn't look like they get it.
He won't get.
Split Earth to follow. There's a Shuriken as well. Down goes Queen of Pain. But...
that was costly though. He could have. That was a lot of gold if he had track.
Yep.
That was what, 600 gold at least bonus? No, actually no, 300 extra gold. 50 for teammates and 200 for himself.
Yeah. The kind of thing that can add up though over the course. Well, I mean, over the course of the game, he'll have track for future kills, but especially in the early game for these supports who don't have a whole lot of farm to their name. They do both have boots already, but they'd like to kind of move on from there and get more beyond it. But charge top, Luna. Left alone now with the support rotations bottom. Unfortunately, Phoenix can't really go in, has way too little HP, and there is enough mana for a Lucent Beam. Oh, you serious?
I think he could have gone in though. He could have just dived and just went back to his original. Okay, the bounty died, then Invoker is charged. He doesn't have Cold Snap, he doesn't have Tornado.
He hasn't.
He might be in trouble.
He could just Ghost Walk away, but...
They have Dust, don't they? No, okay, they don't have Dust.
That was another way too aggressive play from Bounty Hunter. He just harassed the PL at the rune, and he didn't have Shadow Walk for like 3 or 4 seconds, so he just died to a Lance and a couple right clicks, so...
Yeah, and you have to calculate the Spirit Breaker charging in as well, even though he didn't actually arrive, but there's all this type of risk when you're playing Bounty Hunter. You have to calculate when you're actually going for a kill near the Spirit Breaker. Like, going back to the top lane, you mentioned the Phoenix didn't go in. I think he could have actually at least... He could have dived and just dropped a Spirit because Luna didn't have mana for... He had stick. He needed to stick and loosen beam. He probably would have gotten away with it. Even though if he were to dive in and drop a Spirit and die, and they get the Luna kill, I think it's worth it. So he should have actually tried to get the kill for the Spirit Breaker, even though if he has to die for that. I think it's worth it.
It's just scary because Luna has Eclipse though, and yeah, Luna has mana problems. And
he was like half HP. I think they would have gotten the kill.
It's still scary with the Mango. Luna can get that burst mana and turn around and look for that Eclipse though. So
I think it's a worthy risk though, because he was like at half HP. I think they could have burst him before, because with the new change where, I mean not new, but the kind of like maybe 2 months ago a long time change, I think, where the Luna dies and the Eclipse ends, you could actually do that risk. But maybe with the old Eclipse you wouldn't do that.
Well, another smoke gank coming out from the rejects as they make their way down towards bottom lane. They see Queen of Pain, and yep, they're going to get the disruption off. Where's the Leshrac stun? They have a cold snap. X Lucky, easy blew him away.
That was weird. They actually didn't stack their spells correctly. He cold snap and he disrupt right away. He should have been disrupt and cold snap. Maybe they felt that he didn't want him to use the disrupt. He just cold snap and they just keep right clicking, so the stun keeps proccing.
Well, here comes the Spirit Breaker charge in. They're looking for a counterplay. Tornado will cancel the charge, but here come multiple TP. X Lucky has another Sonic Wave, and Leshrac off to the side is not going to get found, as it looks like TnC will not get any kills out of the top lane, out of the bottom lane rotation.
Looking at the wards that Singapore Rejects have, they have very good, like, against a Spirit Breaker, you want to have 2 wards looking at both the rears, so you can actually scout out the he's even track. Okay, so forget it, they say this. Yeah,
he doesn't care.
Yeah, going back to the point, okay, PR is getting initiated here. Should be fine.
Doppelganger, right? There's an EMP.
Maybe not.
He won't be able to dodge that one. That's a track kill as well, so...
And that was a really unlucky Doppelganger. Out of the 3 positions he spawned, if he were to spawn in the other 2 positions, he would have a very good chance of living, because he spawned at the position where it's the nearest to the enemy team.
Yeah.
Man, that was so sad.
Needed to pull off some demon-like jukes and just send the fake one away and hold position on the real one.
Yeah, you have to play with your illusions to actually survive that.
Yeah. We've required some mind games, perhaps. Or at least to deny a track kill, because then he tracks your illusion if you convince him the illusion's the real one. But for now, another kill goes the way of the Singaporean squad. Sierra now level 7. Back towards the bottom lane he goes. It is Queen of Pain topping the CS charts and also the net worth. So it has been a jolly merry time down bottom for X Lucky. Looks like he will be building towards an Orchid this game on Queen of Pain.
Evoker is as well going for Orchids. And they are both around the same farm as each other, so it'll be interesting to see who actually gets it first and makes better use of it. And Singapore Rejects will be looking to trade kills with the Bounty Hunter track. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, Queen of Pain unfortunately isn't able to go for that 12-minute rune at bottom, as Singaporean Rejects had numbers there.
No, they're gonna get surrounded.
Well, here comes the charge. Gets cancelled by a nice cold snap, the Invoker.
Oh, another fissure miss.
Oh, they saved the Bounty Hunter there with that cold snap. Good defensive play. And this is one of the big benefits of the Quasi Wex builds. You've got a lot of tools to cancel a charge. Cold snap as well as Tornado at your disposal. There's another charge going to go flying out. This one towards the Luna. No TPs coming out. Actually going to cancel it as Ysera. He's been sneaking runes all over the place. Gets a regen rune up top, and that was a rune that the PL would have liked to have gotten. TnC struggling to find themselves getting any runes right now.
They're not getting too many kills as well with the Spirit Breaker, so that's really concerning. But on the other hand, so far, I think the 3 kills, maybe only 1 was tracked. I think only the last kill was the track kill, so it's still feasible or alright for TnC going into the early game.
Here's a potential track kill top lane. Yeah, easy Spirit Breaker kill. Disruption, split earth. We've seen it a few times, and this one, no mistakes made as they bring down the old space cow.
It's once again the blade mail build from the Queen of Pain. Didn't really realize what he went for.
Oh, yeah. He picked up the Robe of the Magi. I just assumed it was going to be an Orchid, but we're seeing quite a lot of this Blade Mail Queen of Pain come out. And
it's good versus the Luna and the Leshrac, even though the Lash is the support, but it's still really good against that.
yeah. Well, they're giving Leshrac a lot of farm all of a sudden. Lucky goes in. There's a Scream Sonic Wave. Pop your Blade Mail! Oh, you didn't use it. If he Blade Mails there and gets off a Sonic Wave, that's an easy turnaround on Leshrac. He may have died anyways, but I feel like he could have brought at least one with him. Wasn't ready for the burst damage.
That was really risky though. What he just tried to, even though like you mentioned, if he gets the kill on the Leshrac, it's still a bad trade at the end of the day.
They get the Tower Deny and
they get tracked on him, so it was bad. Regardless of what happened there, it was gonna be a bad trade. He shouldn't be too greedy. Once he got hit by the split earth, it's automatically I just want to blink out instead of he was trying to even get kills there.
And the Blade Mail's nice, but Invoker's going to hit a timing where he has Orchid, and Queen of Pain doesn't have a good solution to the Orchid, it feels like. Where
on the other side, when you Blade Mail and he Orchids you, if they damage you, he's going to eat a lot of damage in return as well. So, I mean, it's still one way of defending yourself.
Charge on mid. Can he get the cancel? The tree line used so effectively, and great 2-hero tornado here. The Sonic Wave not even going to be needed. X-Lucky gets stunned up, though, and that's going to be death for the Queen of Pain. In comes the Supernova, but they're going to focus it down with the Luna TP. Luna's already used the Eclipso, and Chain's getting very, very low. The Echo Slam comes out, but it's not enough damage. Instead, Spirit Breaker down for the count. 2 for 3.
They needed the Sonic Wave damage there. They would have won that fight if they got the Sonic Wave off. That was sad again.
Queen of Pain died so quickly there. And again, I think it was without using the Blade Mail. Did get caught out by a stun and a lot of burst damage.
He didn't get the Blade Mail off. I think I don't remember, but he probably didn't get it off.
They just bursted him during the split earth, which is...
Yeah, then again, he should probably be like... He was just very... He blinked so deep in, so it's kind of like a one-way trip. If you don't kill the enemy, you're gonna die.
It looked like a great initiation, because that charge going over the tree line meant Invoker had no opportunity to cancel it.
He blinked here, right? I'm not sure if you can see this.
Yeah.
He blinked here, and the charge came here. I think the Invoker was here, so maybe the blink should have been here. Then he would have been in a much safer position.
Further away from that tier 2 tower, because the tier 2 tower was where the Leshrac... I think Leshrac was already there. It was a TP from the Luna that
I'm not sure whether they see the Lesh or maybe they didn't. But regardless of that, because his team was like around here, so he should be nearer his team. It's like it's very hard to decide. Like, it's just up to your reflexes. Sometimes you just know what to do at that split second.
Phoenix in trouble. Freebie track kill for Ysera. He does get charged though on the retreat, and Disruption will cancel it though. No follow-up, it looks like, from the rejects. They're on the run here. X-Lucky comes in. Still has Sonic Wave available, and gonna miss the dust on the Bounty Hunter. May just go for a Blink Scream here. No, gonna throw the Sonic Wave to be sure they get the kill. It's a big commitment for a Shadow Demon, and meanwhile, tier 1 tower top being taken, and so I guess SG rejects will be not too upset about giving up that one kill.
The lane.
Yep. Tornado gets used. He doesn't have the Spirit Breaker. Dust available, and unfortunately, they don't have the Nether Strike. No bash, no Nether Strike. One more land. Sky on the run, still alive for now. Doesn't have any spells, and the Fissure will finish him off. This time, Noji not going to miss, and Raven very low on the PL. Is tracked up, but should be able to escape. Sierra.
The Bounty is actually a 4-star. I don't think they actually said that.
Yeah, so with the start, but that's a lot of farm very early on the Bounty. He's also level 11 almost. He's very high level.
Interesting. A very interesting selection of what to go for this game. A lot of options. Like usually teams will just go for, we see the typical Guarding Greaves build, which is used by most of the position 4 support. I guess this game he's a 3, so maybe things are a bit different. He wants to be able to save his teammates from like Fissure, Spirit Breaker, Charge combination. So you can actually force and save the Luna or the Invoker.
TnC not doing too bad. Raven's picked up a Diffusal Blade now on PL. Looks like Phoenix close to Midas.
He's really fun for the position his team. Like you have to remember that this PL is not a PL that has been like babysitted in the lane.
Yeah.
This is a mid PL.
He's not looking at all like that with his current status. And Invoker's actually the one who's kind of fallen behind a bit. Still no Orchid yet. It's still looking like a pretty good timing on the Orchid, but is about 1,000 net worth behind the Phantom Lance.
Yeah, but he was supposed to use the Orchid to actually kill the PL, but now the PL has Diffusal, so you can't kill him anymore.
Yeah. And I like that PL's just straight up rushed that, not going for anything to delay it. No drums, no boots of travel, nothing fancy there. Just straight
I think it's a very good choice to not do that. Otherwise, he will be in. I mean, the heroes that Singapore rejects have, when you play against an Orchid, like a hero that might actually get an Orchid, it's probably more safe to get a Diffusers or Manta. But they're gonna get a pick up here with the Disruption.
Yeah, it's a track kill as well. Whoa, that Fissure off the mark, and Noji has an Echo Slam available. We'll throw it out. Ysera gets low, but there's the Force Up in action, and TP out from Shadow Demon. Will be successful.
Wow, that was close. That was close.
Another questionable Fissure coming out from the Earthshaker.
Another kill here?
Oh, potentially. The Shuriken not going to cancel that dive as he immediately dives on the Janata hit. TP's coming in. Raven leading the charge. He may go looking for this one. Charge going to hit
Wow,
1, 2, 3.
charge.
Great charge. Where's the PL2? Tornado EMP just for the Spirit Breaker, but he's already used the charge at least. Eclipse used almost pseudo-defensively. They get the 1 kill and look to deter any chase here. Raven going to purge off that Diffusal. Great fish on 3. Sonic Wave Scream. That catches out everyone. Down goes 2. They're going to look to TP out Chains and no cancel in sight. Oh, that is unfortunate here as the Bounty also escapes with a 4-staff TP. That looked like they would get more.
Lifesaver, the 4-staff. But they probably should have gotten more though, but it was unfortunate. I think it was in the end, it looked like a really bad trade for Singapore Rejects, but at the end it was just a support Lash and Invoker for a Phoenix, a core Spirit Breaker and a support Phoenix. So, I mean, it's like the same, more or less even.
Yeah, and they got track as well on the Singapore
if
Rejects
they
side.
would have gotten the Luna, yes, TnC would be happy because it looked like they were going to get everyone with the Blade Mail. The Blade Mail Queen of Pain there, really bursting everyone with the Sonic Wave, Blade Mail plus Scream of Pain.
Looks like Queen of Pain going to go into a Yule Scepter next, so have an answer to the Orchid and also just the ability. You can kind of blink in a bit more aggressively and maybe use the Yules
and the track
defensively.
as well. The track, you can remove the track with the Yule, so it's really useful against Bounty Hunter.
Earthshaker now finds an Invis himself, so he'll roleplay as a Bounty
He's
Hunter for a
trying to
little
kill
while.
the PL. Is he trying to go kill the PL here?
You've got to be quick with the Shuriken if you want to be able to do that, but Bounty reveals himself with the track on Phoenix, so not going to happen. Some aggressive wards here in the jungle.
They're gonna have another 4-star from the Shadow Demon. So they'll have 2 4-stars, and Luna is building a BKB now after farming this.
The charge, Leshrac. Uh-oh.
Okay. Track kill.
Oh, track kill in the Radiant jungle. Yep, you got it. Phoenix goes down. Meanwhile, on the dire side, it's going to be Leshrac getting charged. Very close to a tier 2 tower. The Fissure comes to follow, blocks off potentials for support assistance, and they get the Leshrac in return, but track going the way of the dire side. 4 position from 4 position, although the fight not over yet. Potentially another track here as Spirit Breaker gets very low, goes down to the Invoker right click. As it does become a 2-for-1 here at mid, and not what TnC had in mind against the Bounty Hunter, who's getting a lot of track money to his name. 2.6k gold on top of the 4-star.
What is he actually going to go for with all this gold? I actually like going for the medallion into Solar Crest. It's always going to be very useful for your team. They're on Dire, so they can rush with it. It's certainly one of the better options he has right now.
He's going to hold on to that money for now. It looks like he'll leave the base without spending any of it. So mid lane, they blink in. X-Lucky goes down Invoker, defensive disruption, but Invoker still very, very low. Gets off the Tornado, but will die to the Phoenix burn damage. The Supernova being not dealt with whatsoever. Leshrac in trouble now. Noji in the front lines. It's 3 for Neil, and TnC just overrun.
Yeah, that was a really good egg there from Phoenix, from Yo.
With that, Singapore Rejects put on the back foot, and they'll be forced to let this tier 2 tower go down, it looks like. There's a level 2 Eclipse available, and X-Lucky fairly low on the Queen of Pain, but for that bouncing Shuriken as AU gets brought low. One more Lucent Beam could cause some problems, and it looks like they will defend the tier 2 tower, but Still, that kind of a fight is exactly what TnC had in mind too.
Yeah. Without BKBs, Singapore really just cannot take like fights like that. You need the BKBs to be able to just focus the egg and not take so much damage from the Earthshaker.
Okay, there's your answer. Bounty Dagon. A lot of burst damage. Gives him a lot more solo kill potential, but I feel like this is a very hit or miss item.
This game, if you look at the heroes, who's actually really squishy? Maybe Phoenix. I mean, Earthshaker is actually not even that squishy, you know. It's not that... He's not that low HP when he's like not taking damage from other spells. It's difficult for the bounty to get a solo kill. I mean, he has to rely on some of the other spells hitting like the Tornado or Lightning Storm, then he can get a kill.
Well, he finds the Spirit Breaker here. They've got Orchid available, and here comes the Dagon. Okay. It's because they're tanky, WinteR, that he needs the Dagon, you know? It's
okay,
like
we'll reserve judgment on that.
Dagon always works. If they're squishy, you kill them faster. If they're tanky, you need the damage. X-Lucky blinks into a... it blinks into a spot, which he didn't want to blink into, and he pays for it with his life. They get a 1-for-1 trade here. PL's still fighting. Looking to take on Change, who doesn't have mana for the Eclipse here. Thanks to the defusal.
Turn, maybe?
He's very low, and that's an offensive burn. Here comes Ysir. Cooldown. 3 seconds. Not needed.
He didn't get the track. He didn't track the PR. So, I mean, he just wanted to secure the kill because he was worried the PR would have actually reacted and doppelganger. I think it's a good decision. Just make the kill.
Well, that's a big kill to get. That's the most farmed TnC hero. And, well, speaking of kills, Ysir not done. Hunting AU on the Phoenix here. He's picking this out, asking maybe for some assistance. I'm sure he can get this kill
he
on
needs
his
assistance.
Well, mana for a Dagon? Okay.
Maybe not. He used both his spells. Both of the spells unfortunately take away his own HP. So
yeah,
that allowed the bounty to actually... If he TP right away, he's fine after the plot. Oh, he actually didn't have TP. Let's cool down.
He needed the assistance, and Phoenix gave him the assistance himself, you know? It's like, hey, you want to kill me here? I'll do some self-inflicted damage. It's just a friendly thing. Earthshaker getting close to a Blink Dagger now, as he's farming up the jungle a bit. It looks like TnC may have to enter a bit of a farming state, as they're approaching maybe a couple of key items. Spirit Breaker working on a BKB, Queen of Pain working on an Ag Scepter. You've got PL, who's got the ultimate orb, so probably see a Manta style come out next, although Skadi another possibility. But
I think Manta is like the better one, because there's so many things you want to disjoin. The silence and the track, so Diffusal alone is not enough.
Yeah.
I think Manta is probably... will actually give him much more utility compared to getting... I mean, Skadi is nice definitely, but you want to get the Manta first before you decide if you want the Skadi later.
it's so nice for the split push too, because your normal illusions don't last long enough to split push with, but the Manta you can make illusions and then send them off to a lane to split push. So
Invoker is building a Hex as well. So they have a lot of disables after he completes his Hex, and if he gets a few track kills, it will definitely speed up the Hex timing.
Queen of Pain avoiding this rotation through the Radiant jungle, it seems.
They don't have much sentries though against Bounty Hunter, that's weird. They only have, I think, Dust. They didn't really focus on, sentries on Phoenix, but they need to place... Usually what you teams do against Bounty is you place all these random sentries around potential areas that the bounty might be scouting, and you try to use those as traps to actually pick off the bounty, but TnC haven't been doing those type of sentries. You need like precaution sometimes against bounty hunter. You have the sentries ready before he actually shows himself to track someone.
Alright, well, right now they're kind of grouped up. They're actually going to go 5-man TP here as...
Luna is BKB though.
No blink on Earthshaker just yet, but they're still going to go for this smoke play. They're going to walk right into the Shadow Demon. Fissure gets a great 4-staff to the high ground, though. El Smurf with a 4-staff of his own, and it's a sick escape there, as it looks like SC Rejects are just going to turn around and fight. They say they have got that BKB on Luna, and maybe now is the time to take an engagement.
Yeah, and the bounty actually builds in... He builds a... Glimmer Cape after his Dagon, so he didn't choose to upgrade his Dagon, but to continue building into more utility-based items. I think so far the Dagon has net him. Okay, the Spirit Breaker kill was, even though he has, even if he has some other item, he was still gonna get the kill. But definitely the Phoenix kill at top was, without the Dagon, he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. So it seems so far he had a lot of money. It's not like there was an obvious item that would have been more effective for him.
Yeah, it's just like there are so many stuff that he can choose from, and usually the more standard and safe items are like Solar Crest or even the Mech or the Guardian Beams.
Yeah.
Or even a pipe against the Earthshaker. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Bounty Hunter on a position tree with gold you can actually do. So it's just up to the player's choice what he wants.
Interesting. Raven is going to go for a Skadi, not Manta Style. I kind of agreed with you that it seemed Manta Style would just be a better option against Silence, against Track, but he has picked up an Orb of Venom, and the courier is going out to the secret shop.
It's still really a good item for PL though, because it gives him more HP, and you have the slow from the Skadi, so if you actually get yourself close to Shadow Demon or one of the weaker heroes like Lash Rock, the two supports, it's easy kill. And I mean, it's still a good item, I think, even though Manta might actually be slightly better.
We'll see a smoke now from the Singaporean squad as they head towards the mid lane through the Radiant jungle. Looking to fight while the iron's hot. They feel like they've got a good timing here. Bounty's just picked up the Glimmer Cape. Invoker gets revealed here towards mid, and they are so close to TnC. Will they get the engagement they're looking for? EMP in a good spot, but ES blinks away, gets tracked up following this though. Needs to be careful. Tornado goes through, just catches the Phoenix. He's going to be looking for a dive into a Supernova. Great fissure on 3. Where's that Supernova? Fire Spirits go out. Not in the best spot here. The Sunray going to get cancelled. Now comes the Supernova. It's on the kind of wrong side of the fight though.
He wasted the Eclipse.
Uh-oh. BKB Spirit Breaker. Now comes the Nether Strike. That's alright. Onto the Invoker. The Sunray for a second time this fight. Healing up the Spirit Breaker. That saves his life for now, and it's the Leshrac going down. 3 dead. Make it 4. Queen of Pain back on the sides. It's the PO with a triple kill, and that's a team wipe. TnC. What a team fight for the Pinoy squad.
They didn't have enough. I think the position wasn't good enough, and they wasted. I think Invoker wasting spells like this is crucial. The Tornado hit like 1 hero, didn't do so much, and more importantly, the EMP hit 0 heroes. So, like, that's like a huge sign that the opponent team that it's time to actually jump them. Even though Luna still has BKB, but he couldn't really fight. I think he wasted his Eclipse. That was not a very good Eclipse at all. It's like when the Spirit Breaker was BKB and there's no one here. The Spirit Breaker, only Phantom Lancer illusion.
Yeah, it feels like they wasted. Yeah, they wasted that. Invoker, he used 3 spells to fight: Tornado, EMP, and then a Deafening Blast. The Deafening Blast only cancelled the Phoenix Sunray as well the first time, which didn't really matter all too much. So like Invoker basically had no impact on the fight. Luna did a bit more with the right-click damage, but
it was just spell usage. I don't even think that it was maybe not the best decision to actually run in there. They could have just maybe with the medallion, get a medallion and just get Roche, and probably have a much, it's much safer to do that on Luna with a Luna lineup rather than just running into, unless you are really sure that you have vision or you have a certain amount of advantage. They only have 1 BKB though, so the Phoenix combination plus the Earthshaker and Queen of Pain was still going to be very devastating if you don't get like 1 hero down from the bat with your initiation.
I think they felt confident because they did have that 1 high ground ward in the mid lane, so they did have some decent vision across.
Was this? Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, they had that ward there, so I think they felt like, okay, we can see enough of what's going on here to get an engagement off. But
I thought they didn't see the heroes behind, though. Maybe they saw only the Queen of Pain in front. I'm not sure if they actually saw the heroes behind. The PR TP'd right at the end, so I'm pretty sure they didn't see him.
Yeah, and the heroes that were like in the trees underneath the tower were out of range of that ward as well. So heroes like the Earthshaker and stuff.
Very unsure. You're going into relatively unknown territory, and it's very risky, in my opinion.
Well, with that fight, it does put the TnC squad up by about 4,000 net worth. Experience-wise, it's a lot more though. 10,000. The edge.
But it's
PL is just a beast right now, by the way.
It's still possible for Singapore Redux to actually win a team fight in this situation. Once they need, like, the first thing is they need another BKB, probably on the Invoker, I'm not sure, but he's going for Hex, so if you look at their lineup, if the egg comes out, who's going to be hitting the egg? Only the Luna, because only Luna has BKB, so they need one more hero to actually right-click the egg so they can actually kill the egg, and Invoker is, like, in my opinion, the better choice compared to the other heroes, since you can use LTP on yourself with the BKB and just kill the egg.
Oh, back. Ysera, he's charged up and
charged. He's not getting out here.
Yep.
No way out.
They don't even need the charge in the end. Fissure Sonic Wave will finish him off. And this is
That's
where...
it's just like you know, they have his target locked on, and there's no running away from that.
This is where you're maybe regretting the Dagon purchase too, because it doesn't give you much in the way of team fighters. Uh-oh, Smurf is way outside the base, and he got spotted by Radiant Vision. That's going to be a straightforward kill for TnC. Oh,
they're going to go high ground with this, like you mentioned, if they didn't go Dagon on the bounty, he went for the solo quest, they would have actually just gotten the Roshan so easily with like 2 heroes smoke or something like that, and the game would have been different. Instead, he went for a Dagon, which, I mean, obviously he gotten him a kill, but was it worth it? I wouldn't say it's worth it.
I mean, you look at TnC, they've itemized much more for objectives. They've got a pipe on their side, they're pushing the high ground. PL is tanked up with the Skadi, and that was a BKB. His team fight is damn scary. You've got a Bounty Hunter with a Dagon Invoker who doesn't have a BKB, and that's making life hard. They're going to go in right onto that very Invoker. Great Supernova in the middle of things, and they can't deal with that whatsoever. Spirit Breaker catches out Leshrac, and that's 2 more on the sidelines. TnC going to break the mid lane of Rax, and SG Rejects running out of options here.
Game turn took a huge turn in the short scope of time.
Before that fight, it was SG Rejects who are ahead on gold and experience. It was a big swing from that one fight.
That's why Dota is like such a complex game, you know. One small wrong move, it's not even like a really bad mistake, you know, moving like this as a team and getting team wipe. I mean, the intentions was there. If they would have won the team wipe, obviously we wouldn't be having a conversation like this here.
Yeah.
We have been saying, oh, that was such a ballsy play, but it paid off. But things like this, you know, you have to consider sometimes what is the worst thing that could happen here instead of what we want to do.
It's always evaluating the risk versus potential reward.
Yeah, did they actually need to do that in their position? No, like if they were to be in much of a worse position, maybe. But okay, the bounty is getting charged. Is he gonna get out of here? That's a dust? No dust.
Glimmers and will survive.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, the weighing the situation, and is it worth it for them, because they were in a, like you mentioned, they were leading by gold, they were leading by experience, so they were under no pressure of making that play.
And they have map control too. The Bounty Hunter on their side allows them to get so much good vision around the map, so it was not at all necessary for them to go for those kind of plays. Yeah,
but in the end of the day, it was a risky play, didn't pay off for them, and right now they're stuck in this position. 1 Rex down, and PL getting out of control. And what answers do they have? The Hex is like 800 short for the Invoker. That would be a necessary tool for them to actually kill the PL. But then again, like I mentioned, with the Invoker going for this item build, I'm not sure that they can actually, I don't think they can kill the egg though in teamfight if only the Luna is hitting the egg. And right now Phoenix is very close to level 16. I think once he reaches level 16, it's very difficult for them to kill the egg.
He's got the pipe Solar Crest, so he's buffing up the push and the power of this PL on the front line. So
yeah, very team fight orientated builds, but rather than the bounty hunters items, which are very utility based. Very
Invoker says Lincoln Sphere, in fact.
Huh. Okay.
That's not a game-changing item, I feel like.
I don't know. I think that's not a good item for his position. It doesn't help so much. It helps with certain spells like the charge and the nether strike, but that's it.
Oh, Tornado EMP just catches Queen of Pain. Yep, we'll get him with the silence as well. Needs the BKB, does do so, X-Lucky. At this point, they're just going to focus down the buildings and objectives, potentially. Ysera gets kept alive by Shadow Demon Disruptor. Now the Supernova in the middle of a pack, and down goes Invoker and Luna. And without those two, the ability to win a fight is pretty much donezo. As the SG Rejects will
GG.
Scurry away. And yeah, it's GG. They call it. Bot lane goes down, and TnC take game 1 of the best of 3. A closer game.
TnC didn't have a good start, but they played very well when it matters for team fights. They had one bad team fight, but that's about it. The fights after were really good for them, and they took advantage of, I think the biggest thing was, like we mentioned, the smoke into the jungle. They took full advantage of Invoker and the Luna missing their key spells, and they won that fight. They took Roshan, and basically from there on, the game was like for TnC to win. There was really not much that Singapore Rejects could do with only 1 BKB on the Luna. They're not going to kill the egg in team fights, and if you can't win the team fight, you're not going to defend your base.
And I feel like that's always been TnC's strengths to some extent, the team fight, because they didn't even draft, like they drafted around it. Earthshaker, Phoenix, Queen of Pain. They didn't have the best laning heroes. They have a support Phoenix and a support Earthshaker. So they weren't expecting to do particularly well in the lanes against heroes like a Shadow Demon Leshrac, a Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
They just said, we'll give you guys the early game edge maybe in the lanes, but we can win the team fights in the mid game, and that's exactly what they did. So
Yeah, I felt that what needed, what needed to happen for Singapore Rejects is they won the lane in this game. They got Bounty Hunter to quite a good start, and they needed to get at least the Aegis with their lineup and secure it on the Luna before they can actually take a team fight. For example, if you reach like 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the game, if you look at SG Rejects lineup, if you have a Luna BKB, you're still not secured in winning a team fight with what TnC have. But if you have an Aegis, then yes, you can actually take the fight. So I felt like winning the lanes, and they needed to continue with the plan by getting an Aegis so that they can actually take fights and take towers against TnC.
yeah. Well, with that, TnC take a 1-0 lead. It is a best of 3, guys, so the Singapore Rejects still have a shot to advance to the quarterfinals here in the BTS Series Southeast Asia. We're going to take a break. When we come back, myself, GoDz, and WinteR will be bringing you Game 2 of TnC up against the SG Rejects. Stay tuned.